So, here we are.
Buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes.
Buenas que de buenas pocas.
Estamos en Harbour Views, Chez Dav.
My house.
A new setting, porque normally we're in the kitchen looking at the Lego. I am now looking at the Lego in the Lego cabinet,
Yes.
which is full of Lego.
Yes.
And
I
need
need more cabinets.
You do need more space. Well, you could put one in that corner over there.
Mi marido no quiere.
No, that would be a good space to put a cabinet.
I know. It has been vetoed.
Enfrente del otro cabinet. What do you have there? Just the heater.
I know. Pero
Unas mantitas.
una mantita.
Yeah.
No quiere.
Bueno, this is the last episode of this series. So it's episode number 12. The last two episodes I've said they're episode 10. But they're not. Ya me hizo un lío. So we had episode 10 for the last two, ¿vale? This is episode
No,
12.
por eso yo siempre me cubro y digo, no sé. Porque no sé.
Yeah,
Pasa nada.
no importa.
Pasa nada.
So yeah, hopefully we're working on a new sponsor, and we're going to hear in the next few days. So the next podcast, which is Street Talk, will be sponsored by somebody else. But we want to thank travel counsellors. We want to thank Matthew and Christian and Jerome, because they've been great in supporting us for the last 6 months, and we've had a lot of fun with them. They are great fun, and yeah, we've learnt a lot about travelling. And this week I'm not sure what the destination is going to be. I'm sure they will let us know. There will be an advert in the middle as usual. But we love travelling, and
You know what we've never spoken about? We've never spoken about where they are.
okay,
Estaba pensando el otro día. And basically they're on Langwell Road.
yeah,
Guys, con que si vais por Irish Town,
yep,
cuando llegáis a la escalerita que hace joining Langwell Road halfway down Irish Town, ahí, para arriba y a la izquierda. Que eso era una casa, I think.
sí, eso era una casa
Eso era una casa.
de alguien, y ahora es como una oficina.
Ahí está.
Up, it's Irish Steps se llama. Esos steps se llaman
Ah,
Irish
¿eh?
Steps.
Oh.
Y está at the top on the left.
On the
okay.
left.
Y tiene como un little
Un little entryway, un little rampita
un
type
poquito como un
thing.
como un little bridge, que no
Yeah,
un bridge, a
yeah.
little ramp.
So,
But they're in there, but-
basically that's where you need to go.
But actually, the way they like being contacted is by email.
That's
so,
what I said.
which is exactly what you said
That's
last
what
time.
I said. Instead of showing up, which at the end of the day, if you think about it, por la cara, you need to do all this research because doing holidays involves a lot of research. Just send them an email and say,
Yeah.
estoy pensando en esto, o tengo este budget, would you guys suggest? Somos 4 personas, 2 niños, blah, blah, blah. Y ellos entonces, they send you
They
back
build-
itineraries
Yeah.
and they send you back quotes. Y la verdad que está súper bien and you don't have to waste your time.
You know, I don't know whether I should say, but somebody that I work with on TV, that I was with on City Pulse yesterday, he has planned an amazing adventure with travel counsellors this year. He's going to Peru, Brazil, and Argentina.
Wow.
And he's away for 6 weeks.
Toma ya.
Yeah, he's doing my honeymoon and my trip to Argentina all in one. So he's going to loads of places that I've already been to.
Qué pena.
And he's going to Cusco and going to Machu Picchu and everything. So
Qué pena.
very exciting. But Christian's organized it all for him.
Pues mira.
So anyway,
I want to go back to Vietnam, so I might give it a go
Ooh.
with them because el otro día me escribió el guide nuestro y me dice, please come back because I want to meet your kids. Sí, we've kept in touch.
I've also kept in touch with a guy that
See?
took us to the Amazon. A girl, Karina, she lives in Italy now, married an Italian, and they moved to Italy. And she always says, "It'd be lovely to meet your kids."
Well,
Actually, she's got 3.
La muchacha esta de Vietnam decía, oh, I've just got married too. Y yo, no me diga, what's your husband's name? Y dice, por la cara se pone, Paul. Y yo, what? Y me dice, yeah, era un inglés. Se había casado con un inglés de Leeds.
¿Y viven dónde? En Vietnam.
Viven en
Él se
Hanoi.
fue a vivir en Hanoi.
Él se fue a vivir a Hanoi. He would teach English at the time, and he was also a TV presenter on the local radio station.
Pues ya está.
Random.
Sorted. So look, the weather's pants. Pero bueno, I
It's
came
pants if you're outside.
waterproofed today with my gear. Y estoy un poco damp, pero estoy bien.
Pero hace falta llover. Hoy
Sí.
empieza el... Cortan el agua en España.
What does that mean?
That as from a certain time at night...
What, like a standard thing they do every year?
No, this year it's particularly bad.
Yeah.
Hay mucha sequía, los pantanos están vacíos, and they are literally, from a certain time, no puedo usar agua. Desde las 11 de la noche.
But how often do they do this? Like,
At the moment it's gonna be hasta que se recupere
y como por un mes o por 2 meses. Y que paran el agua por la cara.
por la noche. Sí.
Ah, por la noche.
Claro.
What, fresh water?
Sí, it's like in the UK they do
Yeah,
the
yeah,
hose
like
pipe
hose pipe
bans
bans.
and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Pero esto es en casa porque the situation is very dire. Ahora, lo que digo es, todo esto, yo sé que it involves money and it's very difficult and blah, blah, blah. Pero todos estos sitios, por ejemplo, costeros, they could have desalination plants like we do.
Yeah. But that's money as well. Costs money to
money,
do that.
money that maybe
Yeah.
should
And
not go into
maybe-
politicians' pockets and maybe should
Yes,
go to
you're right. Actually, Kenneth had a good book yesterday, How to Be a Politician, by Vince Cable, who used to be an MP.
Okay.
It's quite a funny book. He read a few quotes from it yesterday. We were talking about politics and different things that have happened over Christmas, but we're going to stay away from politics because we don't care about politics.
Siempre lo mismo.
We don't want to talk about politics. What I was going to say is that the same way that they do, Ray, where are you going?
I don't think she likes this. No, se ha ido contigo.
Oh, nice.
Ella tiene sus spots.
She's very cute. She looked quite good there as
I
part of
know,
the sofa and
pero no, ella tiene
the
diferentes
color
spots.
schemes all works and everything.
¿Verdad que sí, Cookie?
The same way that they're doing the ban on water in Spain, they could do that in Gib with the electricity, and they could maybe, I don't know, have like an hour every day in the middle of the night when for 1 hour everybody and they recharge the machine, because I think something needs to be done. Yeah, there's been another 2 power cuts today.
But what do you think
Different
it is?
areas.
Because there's too much demand.
I think it's too much demand. I don't think it. Yes, of course.
No.
How are they coping with everybody using their devices, everybody plugged into something? Dav, I think it's that.
I don't think so.
O sería que, no sé, anoche on my way to GBC se apagó. There was a power cut. Todo por ahí del museum, Bristol Hotel, up to Lover's Day.
Bueno,
Pitch black.
ayer por la tarde era College Lane.
Y esta mañana otro, Main Street y surrounding area, my end.
Te iba a decir, my end, no.
Huh.
I don't think that there's too much demand.
Why do you think it's happening then?
Pues...
Porque no había un plan B. Esto lo hablamos en la tele anoche. Había un plan B, que si hay un power cut, plan B would come in and it wouldn't affect. Porque if you think about it, it affects a lot of people, even if it's in the night. The other night it was at 10 to 12, a total blackout throughout Gib. But that affects people who are on, for example, sleep apnea machines. Like somebody pointed out and wrote to me, Lydia Durham wrote to me and said, because last night we were talking about it, and I said it affects mothers who have to heat up bottles in the night. It affects people who have alarm clocks plugged in the morning. Ja, it's disrupted, so you go back to sleep and then you wake up
No,
late.
pero nadie tiene alarm clocks ya, ¿no?
I
Everybody
think
uses
so.
their
People,
phones.
no sé, maybe people use their phones. I don't know.
Phones are not affected.
It affected all the phones in my office, for example, which are on a special machine with the answer phones and everything connected. We had to
Really?
reset. We had to get Gib Telecom involved, and they had to reset our system, and a lot of other companies as
But
well.
why do you have such a special phone?
I don't know. We have like an automated system that's quite high tech, I suppose. But then this lady Lydia wrote to me and said, what about people with sleep apnea machines? What about people who are connected to, special breathing machines at night, or mothers and dads who are heating bottles, or
Bueno, my answer to that is, yo siempre he tenido un camping gas en la casa.
bueno, yeah, claro. We've all got one.
Es que you,
We've got one
cannot
too.
become so complacent,
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, por mucho plan B que tenga, las cosas se estropean. También hay que ser un
See,
poquito...
but should this be happening though with the power cuts? What do you think?
I don't know, because I don't work there. I don't know the intricacies. I don't know. Pero what I do know is that there's a lot of people complaining and a lot of pointing fingers, cuando al final del día, después cuando tú miras en las organizations y mira lo que pasa, todo no es crystal clear.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be happening, creo yo. No sé. Yo creo que, como he dicho,
Many things shouldn't be
the
happening.
amount of power that we need.
Por ejemplo, why do we have so
every day.
much traffic in Gibraltar?
Well, no, that's because cars are cheap. Cheapest place in Europe to buy a
Because
car.
people are lazy.
Yes, we were saying that last night as well. Fuel prices have gone up. Is that going to deter people? No. So people should, instead of complaining about how much it costs to fill your tank, walk or use a public service, public transport.
Okay, even if the petrol was dirt cheap, why do people always need to get their cars? Hoy
don't
que está lloviendo, hoy tiene que ser espectacular. Porque está lloviendo.
Claro, yo acabo de bajar en bicicleta. And as I left my office, todo el mundo, ¿qué va en bicicleta? ¿Qué va en bicicleta? Digo, bueno, me he traído mi waterproof jacket.
Hombre, yo por ejemplo, bicicleta, I wouldn't like doing it because of the safety aspect. ¿Vale?
But if you don't go too fast, I can't go too fast
It's not
anyway.
about going too fast, it's about the road,
Bueno,
it's about
sí, I
the wets,
suppose.
el aceite, it's that side of it. The fact de que los coches no miran, cuando está lloviendo el visibility is less, cositas así, ¿no? Pero, yo qué sé, caen 3 gotas y todo el mundo
Panics.
saca los coches.
Ya
y
lo
yo
sé.
me pongo mis botas y me pongo mi paraguas
And off you
no,
go.
y no pasa nada.
Yeah.
No sé.
Yeah.
The chip doesn't change. Es que no es lo mismo. Por ejemplo, tú dices de why is it happening. Cuando yo trabajaba en el hospital y yo tenía el waiting list de physio and it was very long because there's a lot of demand, everybody wants to go to the physio, a lot of people are taught how to fix their issues and they do not heed advice. El physio le dice, haz estos exercises y en cortito salen afuera y dicen, yo no hice esto. ¿Qué pasa? 6 months later, they come back with the same issue. Vale. Many reasons. También la gente, if the list takes too long, they go back to the doctor, get another referral, which then makes the list longer. Vale. Entonces, cuando trajeron al especialista to do the surgeries on Saturdays, Paquita, vale, metieron los surgeries en el sábado, but then they didn't increase physios, they didn't increase admin, they didn't increase appointments para los follow-ups del especialista. Entonces, la lista que quitaron, surgical, was then transferred to the appointments and the physio. Entonces, to the outsider, como hay que ver el hospital, hay que ver la lista de physio, hay que ver... It's not as simple. There's a lot more going behind the
Yeah.
scenes. We don't know what's happening at Jibilek.
No.
Te digo, I'm not saying
We
it's
don't.
right.
We don't. No. We don't know. So we can't really have an opinion. The only thing is, it is very often. Every time, there's like something
I don't
happens,
think it's that often.
like rain, or it's at least 3 or 4 times a month.
Que a mí no.
Twice a month.
A mí no.
Well, over the last few weeks, it's been often. Anyway, it doesn't bother me too much. I was in bed anyway at 10 to 12 the
Es que
other
me da
day.
igual.
And my son was like, "What's going on?"
Por
Because he
ejemplo-
was playing on his thing.
Pues sí, tú
Yes.
entraría al ataque. Yo, por
Claro.
ejemplo, yo puse una vela y ya está.
Es como el internet. A ti el internet se te va en tu casa y que does everybody like panic?
Sí, pero
En mi
you
casa
know what?
everybody's like,
Because,
really put out.
Pero en mi casa es because they're little.
yeah,
And then what we do, we get some candles out y charlamos.
much nicer.
It's much nicer.
Or you play a game with a candle.
Or we play a game,
Yes.
or maybe
I like that.
todo el mundo se acuesta.
I like that.
What's the big deal?
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's right, but
No,
what's the big
I
deal?
know.
De verdad.
And you've got to think we don't really know what's going on, so
We don't know what's going
we'll leave
on.
it there.
Y es como digo yo, vamos a compararnos con otros países del mundo, por favor.
Yeah.
Que dirían,
We can't.
un pavo
We
de vez en
can't.
cuando, qué suerte.
Yeah. Bueno, vamos a cambiar the subjects. I did an interview with my cousin Maite Facio Beanland, and she is deaf. She
I know,
had
I
got
know her.
meningitis when she was little, and she's deaf. And we did it with a BSL interpreter, Richard Weaver, who is trained to, I think it's level 6, which is the most you can get. Now, one of the things Maite wanted to do and change people's minds about is choosing BSL, British Sign Language, as a GCSE with a view to becoming an interpreter, because there's only one in GIB. Richard is the only one who is trained to level 6, and you need level 6 in many situations. For example, when she goes, I think I mentioned it to you, when she goes to the doctor, there's 3 doctors in GIB who can tap in to they have to arrange it beforehand, to a bank of BSL interpreters, medical interpreters, who are able to translate to the patient what the doctor is saying. Because otherwise you have to go with a family member. Sometimes you don't want your family member there listening to what you're privately telling your doctor. There's a whole thing with it. So I was so happy to hear in the news that BSL is now being put on the curriculum as a choice in schools in England as a GCSE. And I'm hoping that they're going to do it here as well.
I'm going to go even further on that. When my son was in Governor's Meadow, he was taught sign language.
By?
by his teacher, by his primary school teacher.
Who was trained?
I don't know, la verdad.
Okay.
Pero
Okay.
yo lo que sé que un día he came home and he knew all these things, and then one day we came across a friend of mine who is deaf. Y her face lit up
Of course.
when she saw him sign.
Of course.
Entonces, ¿por qué no es standard?
Claro que no.
¿Por qué no es
But it
standard?
should-
¿Tú has visto
no,
un video ese en social media where a whole town, small town, learns sign language
No.
for their resident deaf person, y va por la calle y por la cara alguien le dice no sé qué y no sé cuánto, y te lo ve que está mirando como diciendo ¿qué pasa? And that's when I realized for the first time de que you must feel so lonely and excluded.
Yeah, you're in your own.
You're there,
Yeah.
pero you're not part of it. Y tú dices, qué
There's
pena.
lots of things they miss out on.
Claro. No, pero olvídate de Miss Auton. Y por la calle y que alguien te diga, oh, sorry. O alguien te dice, however it is that you do it, because I don't know how to do it. Yo sé ser angry y... Oh, que era algo con la lengua así, no me acuerdo, Hudson me lo enseñó. Pero, qué alegría, algo tan simple de, no veo lightning, de poder entender lo que alguien te ha dicho. It's a big one, it's going to be a big
yeah.
one.
Wow, listen to that. Oh, you really feel it thunder here.
Wild.
Because you're stuck up at the top of the building. Like Rapunzel.
Rapunzel.
So yes, it's a great idea. I think
I think
people
it should
should
be-
choose it.
I
And
know, I
more
think it
people
should be
think
part of the
more
curriculum.
people need to think about things like this.
Yes.
You know, about being BSL interpreters. You can do it as a degree in England
Oh.
at uni.
Pero que
Because
should
you
be-
can help so many people.
Pero que it should be
You
taught
know,
in school,
I-
igual como aquí hacemos Spanish.
Yes.
No matter what. But BSL también no matter what. I don't understand why not.
I agree with you.
I don't
I
understand.
hope it's
igual como,
enforced.
la historia de Gibraltar. Why is it not standard in Gib?
bueno, they do teach it a bit
A bit.
to a certain level.
Why a bit?
They should take kids out.
Por ejemplo,
See, I think they
por
do,
ejemplo,
¿no?
después te infla de aprender de la historia de Inglaterra, ¿eh? Y después tú dices, bueno, antes de aprender de la historia de Inglaterra, que está muy bien, es muy importante, and it affects a lot of other things because everything is linked. Art, religion, history, everything is linked. Pero vamos a aprender de aquí, porque después you get all these young people que después a lo mejor tú te pones a hablar de cosas de Gibraltar and they're all thinking, no, ya están los viejos hablando. Actually, funnily enough, Mikey wrote to me the other day and said, what is it with 50-year-old men
Yes.
ranting on and on about politics and
You know,
yo que sé qué?
that was because we had a party in
He
my
was
house.
horrified.
He
And I
was-
was like, Mikey, tú también vas a hacer eso.
It was 2 in the
And
morning.
he was like, oh, but I
can't
don't
deal with
want
this.
to. Y le digo,
Yes.
¿qué va a hablar de Super Mario con 50 años? A ver qué te crees.
Sí.
Y me dice, fair point, fair point. No entienden la importancia, pero ¿por qué? Porque they're not exposed to it. So in a way se entiende. Ahora después tú solo pones a explicárselo and they're like, whoa, espérate, this is really important. Like when I interviewed my neighbor Lonnie gave birth in a bunker in London porque había un airstrike.
During the war.
Y
Yeah.
she'd been sent over to the UK, estaba pregnant, porque tuvo un niño, y una de las veces la metieron en el...
Le tocó en el bunker.
Y se puso de parto.
Y tuvo el baby en el bunker
Y
con
tuvo
que el
el
baby...
Te digo, con que tú dices, wow.
Claro.
Que después we hear stuff like that on in a documentary, estamos, oh, wow. Y tú dices, ¿cómo que wow? Si le ha pasado a gente nuestra. And that's what I think is missing as well. Menos YouTube y menos cosas así y más cosas de verdad.
Weekend in London, big trip to New York, or lounge on the beaches of Bali? Do you have some big travel plans for 2024? Here at Travel Counsellors Gibraltar, we pride ourselves on being friendly, helpful, knowledgeable, and always readily available. So if you have some travel ideas or looking for some inspiration, then don't hesitate to get in touch. There's really no such thing as fashionably late with travel. The earlier, the better. We can't wait to speak to you.
There's a lot of podcasts nowadays that you can listen to, apart from ours, that are super entertaining and interesting. Michael Mosley, have you heard of Michael Mosley? He's a
No.
doctor in the UK. He's got one that says just a little bit, and he talks about a little bit of interesting things, and he has it's on BBC Sounds. It's very cool. And now he's got a new series out, so I'm going to
Yo escucho
listen to
no
it.
such thing as a fish. And it's, you know, QI, the series.
Yes.
The people who provide all the info, the QI elves, they do a podcast separately. Escúchame, it's
Funny.
the funniest thing ever. Y también escucho the health check, the Mike Warzowski, no me acuerdo, and it's this really super ridiculously good looking American doctor. Ridiculously good looking. And he wants to change the system in America, que me gusta mucho porque me gusta aquí. It is sort of the same as here, but for them it's on a bigger scale. He wants everyone to have the same doctor throughout their lives, so that doctor can always be on top y decir, esto, ¿tú te acuerdas cuando tú tuviste esto? Esto es lo que te está pasando con esto, blah, blah, blah. And that it's done, because in America, doctors are given ratings,
Okay.
¿vale? Porque es un negocio. Because it's paid by insurance.
Yeah.
Entonces, ¿qué pasa? Que si un médico quiere que tú le des un 5-star review, si tú le pides Oxycontin, por médico dice, toma Oxycontin.
Ahora
Yes.
dame un 5-star review.
Y así no como están, hay una pila de gente enganchada. And he wants to change that. And in that
What
sense...
does it do, Oxycontin?
Oxycontin, la gente está enganchadísima.
What
I think
is
it's a
it?
painkiller.
Okay.
Tú imaginas, tú vas al médico, tú dices, yo quiero Valium, de lo fuerte. Y el médico piensa, como no se lo dé, me va a dar una porquería de review. Entonces, that's the way it works over there, and it's very scary. ¿Vale? And he talks about stuff like that. It's very interesting. Entonces, actually, hablando de podcast, in coming round to Gibraltar. Today, I heard on the podcast, No Such Thing as a Fish, why whales attack boats,
Yeah.
which is what was happening
Yes.
here.
Gloria.
Con Gloria.
Yes.
Bueno, pues dice que there's a theory
Yes.
que the
They're-
reason why they do...
They're defending themselves.
No, they
Because
are not.
somebody was attacked. A whale was attacked somewhere along the.
no.
You're talking about the killer whales.
Sí, lo locas. The theory is one theory because they don't know why they're doing it. But the theory is, un theory de que they like the sound of the engine. ¿Vale? They like the vibrations. They like to go behind the boat and feel
The bubbles.
the bubbles. Entonces cuando el barco está parado
Sí.
y está off,
Se enfadan.
they want to play. So they knock
Interesting.
into the boat como diciendo, siéntete, let's play.
Entiendo.
And I thought it was very interesting. And I thought that it'd be worth pointing them back to that because you can write to them y todo eso. El otro día estaban hablando de how to take the smell of garlic off your hands.
How do you do that? Lemon.
No, and apparently there's a stainless steel soap.
Oh.
Y tú te das y te quita el olor. ¿Vale? Porque antibacterial, apparently. Y entonces dice que it doesn't work. And I wrote to them the other day and I told them actually there is a way that works. Si tú cortas ajo o cortas chili, que eso después tú te lavas las manos y todavía huele y todavía pica. The problem is the rubbing. So when you cut stuff like that, you rinse your hands under the water. Así, no toque nada. And then afterwards, wash your hands. Y no huele, y no pica, y no te pasa nada.
We'll have to try it.
Random.
Full of interesting
I love it.
things. Viene John Bishop a Gibraltar. I've seen it today, £40 valuing the cheapest entries. I really want to go. I'd love to see him. He's from Liverpool. I think he's quite
He
funny.
used to be a footballer.
He used to be a
Random.
footballer. I know that. I think I've seen him with Louis Theroux in an interview, maybe. Or with someone being interviewed.
He was interviewed because I think he has... Does he have a son who came out?
No sé.
He has one of his children, Argo, and he was interviewed. And he was very good about it, la verdad. Mi marido me hizo tagging. Fue como con Dara O'Brien nos morimos de risa.
See, he was so good.
It was ridiculous.
Yes,
Me
he
dolía la
was.
barriga. And he said, I don't know if I want to see John Bishop. Because I've
Sí.
seen him on TV and I've never thought, tengo que ir.
Wow.
Como Mickey Flanagan. Yo Mickey Flanagan tengo que ir. So, I don't know.
Mira, ¿y qué me dice de Nile Rodgers? Would you go and see Nile Rodgers?
No.
Freak out.
Not really. Porque va a cantar esa
Michael
va a cantar esa canción and then I'm
Yeah.
gonna think, okay, ya está.
That's it. No, he's quite good. No sé, I haven't got
Ahora
tickets.
también pensé lo mismo de los Gypsy Kings y me arrepentí.
Sí, they were very good.
I saw videos
pero lo
and I
pusieron en telly por lo menos 4 veces, The Gypsy Kings.
Right.
Sí.
Yo vi videos
No
and
sé,
I
it wasn't
thought,
really my thing.
yo sé.
Mira, talking about flamenco and Spanish traditions, do you do the uvas?
No.
You've never done uvas?
No.
Even with your mum being Spanish?
Nope.
We've had this whole debate with my friends.
I don't get it.
Because it's like, I've never done the uvas either.
People, la familia,
People do.
La familia de mi marido lo hace. I don't do it. Me da igual. No, I don't get it. I don't understand it. And it's such a health hazard. La cantidad de gente que se ahogan con uva
Sí.
every year. Heavy.
Por Dios.
Huh.
Just on chewing it gently.
No te da
and-
tiempo.
No te da tiempo. Tiene que tragar media entera.
No
Yeah.
te da tiempo.
Okay, that's good to know. And
be honest,
pineapple on a pizza tampoco, ¿no?
La vida. Pineapple de postre. Pineapple de pizza.
¿Qué más? ¿Qué quería hablar? What does it say here? I can't read my writing.
Now let's talk about the bones.
Yes, let's talk about I want to talk about being passive aggressive because I didn't know what that meant, and actually somebody in my office does it the whole time. So anyway, go on. Tell me about bones.
The bones.
The bones that were discovered off the detached mole. Like heavy, no?
Heavy.
Or what was that? Like when were they from?
They have to. They need
They
to
don't
test
know.
them to know. They'll have to do the testing to see when they're from.
And
if
how were they
it's-
discovered?
If it's eso es lo que no sé.
Was somebody diving?
Somebody
Is it-
diving.
Were they
Tiene que
discovered at the
ser.
bottom or
Yeah.
bones? I don't think would float, no?
I don't think so. I don't think
So
so.
somebody must have been diving. It's not very deep, because my husband has lost his bicycle around, well, not quite the detached mode.
¿Cómo llegó?
That's probably a bit
¿Cómo
far.
llegó en bicicleta al detached mode?
Estábamos in the
Detached!
Small Boats Marina.
Ay,
Small
That's
Boats Marina.
different. It's detached
Yes,
mode
that's
está más
only,
fuera.
it's not too far because I know somebody went down and got the bike. But yeah, detached mode's probably a bit deeper, no?
pero que...
About 30 meters? No, maybe
Sí,
less.
maybe somebody was scuba diving y por la cara, and it's like, wow. Porque mira, está el marinero que llevan buscando all these years, ¿no?
Sí, Simon Parks.
También, por ejemplo, la chiquilla esta de Slim,
Sí.
who's been missing for years. I'm not
También.
saying that something happened to her, pero mira,
Yeah.
maybe for
I wonder how
somebody,
they would be able to identify them from their bones.
they would have to have DNA. Por ejemplo, anything that they owned, or ya they would match it up to family. They would get DNA from the bones and then see if it matches the family de Simon or la chiquilla or whatever.
Incredible, no?
Increíble. Esto es heavy CSI. Wild. I love it. No, what's important as well is that
Wait
maybe
for it.
if somebody can if somebody can get some closure.
There we go.
Wow.
Not nicest, is it? Really? Yeah, if somebody can get closure, yeah, you need that for
Hombre.
sure. But what a thing to discover bones.
Qué
a bit-
heavy,
bit
¿no?
Creepy, yeah.
No, these are things que, como digo, again, documentary de Netflix total. Eso no pasa aquí.
Hablando de documentaries, I watched Society of the Snow, La Sociedad de la Nieve.
Esto que los snowflakes.
No,
No. Esto que.
a group of Uruguayan rugby players who fly over the Andes in 1972 to compete in a rugby competition in Chile.
Hay una película de
Yes,
esto,
and
alive.
yes, it's an old one. That was the old one. The new version has just come out. I read a lot about it in my mum's Spanish magazines. My mother reads all the Spanish magazines.
Que el
and there's a
médico
whole
se
thing
llamaba
about it.
Roberto Canessa.
Exactly
¿A que sí?
right.
I remember
Yes,
que he visto
Roberto
esa película
Canessa.
tantas veces.
Bueno, entonces tiene que ver the new one.
Okay.
It's by a South American
It's amazing
director.
because
They ate each other,
Yes.
basically. It's the only way they survived.
There was one
But the
who
way they
refused.
did it.
The
yes,
one
there was
que-
one
que
who
se le murió
refused.
la
He
hermana.
murió. No, but he didn't die. In the end, he
No,
did eat
pero
it.
he refused.
No, but in the end, he had to. Or they all did. Most of them did.
He did
The
not.
one that didn't, Juma, one didn't. He también passed away. But it's just the grit of the way they handled it, the way. Everything. Then two of them decided to go off, and they were like planning the route down the hill, and they had 10 days of food. Basically, their friend cut up in little pieces in a bag, and that's what they would eat
That's right.
to give them energy to carry on with their walking.
That's right.
And they got to the bottom of the hill, and then they across the river was Chile, and that's how they were rescued. And then they flew to because where they fell was between two mountains, and
Era como,
all the
era como un
plains.
valley.
Unbelievable film. Te deja como like, wow. But it's quite hard hitting and it's quite
Heavy.
sad. In the end, they put all the photos of the real people against the people who played them. But I really enjoyed it. And the other thing I've watched is called the new one with Joanna Lumley and Mylene Klass, who's got Gibraltarian connections.
Does she?
Yes, her grandmother was from Gibraltar. Yes, and
¿Tú
she
sabes
came
quién-
out in a
tú
program
sabes quién
talking
también
about it.
tiene? ¿Tú sabes? Se llama esta Super Nanny.
Pues también, sí.
También.
Sí.
Y ha estado
But
aquí.
Mylene Klass, there was a whole thing about her on TV, I remember. And she's in it, Joanna Lumley, it's called Fooled Once. You're Only Fooled Once, or Fool Only Once, or something like that. It's a thriller. It's very, very good. It has a bit of a twist at the end that you don't expect. I've watched that and really enjoyed it.
Qué
So,
bueno.
yeah, lots
yo
of
vi,
things.
Yo vi Bad Surgeon.
But Surgeon,
But no,
As in-
bad.
so have I. I've seen that.
Wild.
That guy, unbelievable. And he's out scot-free, no?
Tan fresh.
Yeah, tan fresco.
Qué miedo.
I saw that as well.
Qué miedo, qué
Yeah,
miedo.
yeah.
Qué mal
Mira,
habla.
passive aggressive, I wanted to
Ella.
talk about. I didn't realize what it was. Like, you can be very chill, but what's coming out of your
It's
mouth
very aggressive.
is very aggressive.
Yes.
And that's what passive aggressive is. So there is somebody that I know who does that all the time. And I was like, yeah, I kind of ignore it. But that's what it is. Only because we have a new employee that's younger, who, when he did it, said to him, please don't speak to me in that passive aggressive tone anymore.
And you
And
and
I thought,
everybody went,
what's passive aggressiveness? And then she explained it to me. But actually, thinking about it, there are quite a lot of people that I know who do that.
Claro. It's how you get away
I
with
think
it.
even I do that sometimes.
It's how you get away with it. Porque you're not shouting.
No, you're not. So of course you're allowed to do it, no?
No, it's not that you're allowed, pero que la gente no lo recogen. Y tú dices, ¿qué estás haciendo? I know what you're doing and I know where you're coming from. Hay que ser como yo, aggressive.
Bueno, no sé. Porque tú, your New Year's resolution was to be more chill, no?
Soy más chill.
See? How was Christmas and New Year gone?
Tranquilo,
Yeah?
tranquilo. La
Good.
verdad, for once, we were all on the same wavelength.
Good.
Porque hay veces que tú dices, yo tengo ganas de descansar y otra persona no. Este año estábamos todos chills.
Good. Mira, ¿y qué te trajo Father Christmas?
Nada.
Nada.
No, we don't give
Presents to each other.
mi marido y yo no. When we find something that we want,
You buy
well,
it.
then that's
I
it.
think we've had this combo before.
Paso del pressure.
Yeah.
¿Qué le compro? Si no me hace falta nada y no
Just
te
because it's
pidió
Christmas.
nada.
Huh?
Actually, you know what we did get each other? Un ice cream and smoothie maker.
Oh, what a good idea.
Y mi marido y mi hija se tiraron todo Christmas comiendo ice cream y cagándose encima
Nice.
porque no estaban acostumbrados a tomar full fat milk.
It has to be with full fat milk.
Si no tiene el fat no funciona. And it was really funny porque era como, oh, I got diarrhea. A los 3 días, shall we have some ice cream? Y yo, ¿qué estáis tonto? ¿Qué pasa?
Mira, do you have an air fryer?
No, I used to and I got rid of it.
My colleague at work is telling me about it the whole time.
Todo el mundo con air fryers.
She says it's
And
amazing.
apparently they're not good for you.
Oh, really?
I've seen something.
See, I haven't read up. I grill everything.
Algo
or I-
tienen
Sí, que no es
que
no
no
good.
es bueno, pero no sé lo que es.
I have to look it up.
No sé, ya nada es bueno.
Mira, why did you want to know about the Brand 5 and the Raspberry 8 from Saucony and Speed that's no longer being done?
Because I wanted to know if it's ours.
What do you mean ours?
As in it's Gibraltarian and it belongs to Saucony and Speed.
I think
Y
it
no
does.
es de nadie. ¿Por qué no lo estamos vendiendo al mundo con lo bueno que está?
Because I think they've stopped making it here. I think this might switch off in a minute.
¿Sabes?
I think they've stopped making it here
Bueno, why don't
completely.
they sell it?
But I think they tried, or they must have. It's been going for
I don't think
ages
so.
here.
I don't think so.
No?
Con lo bueno que está.
But it's a pure sugar.
I don't give a shit what it is. ¿Y qué te crees que es
Well,
Coca-Cola?
have you just discovered it?
No.
You just miss it.
Hombre, I miss it terribly. And
Did
so
you used
does-
to have it when it was around?
Claro, sí, estaba buenísimo. Malísimo para ti, pero buenísimo. No, yo lo que digo es, if it's something from Jib, how come it's never been marketed outside?
So no, you'll have to ask somebody at Saucony and Speed.
That's what I
about
want to
that.
know. Si alguien sabe, I
There you
want
are.
to know.
Let us know.
I want to know. Como el Iron Brew ese de Costa.
Eso no me gusta nada.
I've never tried it.
It's kind of bitter. A bit
I don't
bitter.
know.
I don't like it.
Pero maybe if we marketed out Raspberry 8 sería el hit.
I think they must have tried it.
O sea, como el Vimto de Marruecos.
I love him too.
Pero el de Marruecos.
El de Morocco. And like the orange Fanta from Morocco. That's like full of sugar.
Me da igual el
bit-
Fanta. I don't think it's about the sugars. I think it's about the E numbers.
Oh, okay.
I think it's the E numbers.
Anyway. Oh, there's your daughter.
My daughter.
Let's wrap this up because we've been going for half an hour anyway.
Está bien, voy a abrir. Momentito.